Welcome back to the Unikaksha. So, in today's tutorial, we are going to deal with some of the topics related to the Python list. So, let us just move to our Python programming window so that we can have a look about the codes, and then along with the code, we can discuss the various things related to the Python programming. So, let me just take back you quickly to the Python programming script. Okay. So, we'll be learning about the Python list in today's session. We'll understand the importance of the list. We'll understand what is basically list, how to create, how to add the elements inside the list, how to implement the multiple operations on the list, and a lot of the other things as well. First of all, you might be, not be aware about what the list is. So what we will do, we'll try to understand the concept of list with very simple example. I hope you might all are aware about the basic data types of the Python. So the basic data types of the Python includes integer or float value or complex value or Boolean type of values and so on, character values, which are generally called as a string type of values. What if you want to store multiple values into a single variable? In that case, you have to take the help of something called as data structures. Data structures provide you the ability to store multiple elements in a single variable. And there are a lot of data structures available in Python such as list, tuple, set, dictionaries, and so on. And every data structure has its own importance as well as has its own reason that in which situations we can implement it. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about something called as a list as a data structure of Python. So as you can see on a screen, I have written over here list1 is equal to empty. This indicates that you are creating an empty list. That means you are not inserting anything into the list. What do you mean by list? List is nothing but a type of data where you can store multiple data elements inside a single variable. The speciality of the list is you can manipulate, you can delete, you can update the elements of the list at any point of time in your code. Basically, Python provides us with two types of the data structures, one which are mutable and one which are immutable. Mutable data structures are those data structures in which it is allowed to change its value. Immutable data structures are those data structures in which we cannot change the value of a particular element inside that collective data structure. So list comes into the mutable type. That means we can change the element at any point of time into the given list. So likewise, as you can see in this code, we have first created a list is equal to empty bracket, which indicates that we are creating an empty list. If you simply try to print, then it will print again this empty list bracket, which indicates that you haven't inserted anything, but this list1 object is created into the memory, which stores nothing. Then in this case, we are creating these three lists. If you just check, this is a list of homogeneous element. The list2 is a list of homogeneous element, which consists of the numeric type of data or integer type of data, to be very specific, because there are no float points included into this. The second list that you can see is again homogeneous list, which consists of all string type of data. The third list that you can see over here is a kind of heterogeneous list, which consists of whole numbers as well as decimals as well as the character type of data. So what we understand from this, we understood that list can consist of homogeneous element as well as heterogeneous element. Homogeneous element indicate that all the elements will have same data type, and heterogeneous indicate that all elements have the different data type like this. So list4 is nothing but a heterogeneous type of list, and list2 and list3 are nothing but the homogeneous type of list. I hope this part is clear. Then in next case, we are going to see how to traverse a list. So in this case, if you have seen, I have created one list. I have inserted few elements inside this list. And again, if you notice, this list is heterogeneous. That means it consists of a number, that's whole number, some string values, then and again some numbers and the string values. So it's a kind of a list which is heterogeneous in nature. If I simply write print list1, then it is going to print all the elements inside this list. Now when indexing in Python starts with 0, that means if you want to fetch the element which is present at the, or which is the first element of this list, that is 101, then you have to write that fetch the element from the list1 which is present at index 0. Now basically what do we mean by indexing in Python? Indexing refers that at which position the element is situated with respect to the first element of that entire data structure. So 101 is the first element of that data structure, and 101 is situated at the 0th position from itself. That's why whenever you write list 1 of 0, that time it generates the result as 101. Then the next element Prachi is situated at the first index position from 101, and that's why if you write print list 1 and in the square bracket if you mention 1, that time it is going to print Prachi because it is situated at the first index position in this list. So this is 0th index, this is first index, this is second index, this is third index, this one is 4th, this one is 5th, and this one is 6th. So if you have 7 elements, the total number of indices would be 6 because you are starting with the 0th index for assigning the positions to the elements inside the list. There is something called as reverse indexing is also possible with respect to the list. So if you are writing -1, then it will fetch the last element present inside this list. This will be -2, this is -3, this is -4, this is -5, -6, and -7. So when you start traversing the list from the start of the list, or you can say from the starting element of the list, then the indexing starts with 0. But if you start traversing the list from the end position of that list, then the indexing starts with -1. This is basically the thing that you need to remember with respect to the lists. Then over here, it is written as list 1, colon and 3. What this will do? It will display all the elements starting from the 0th index till your second index, because whatever index number you write over here as a limit, -1 are nothing but the index till which it actually searches and prints the element. So here it is going to print the 0th index, that is 101, index number 1, that is nothing but Prachi, and index 2, that is nothing but suppose say any word that we write over here. So if I simply write here as print, then as you can see that it's printing the element 101, Prachi, and Unikaksha in this case. So this is basically what we mean by writing the index and fetching the elements. Here I am writing list, then 2, and again I am specifying the colon. It indicates that it will start printing the elements starting with the second index position. So this is first, this is second, and this is third. So sorry, this is 0th, this is first, and this is second. So starting with the Unikaksha, all the elements will be printed if you write the code like this. So let me just write print before this so that you can view the output here. Then the next one is written as list 1, 2, colon 6. So it will start fetching your element from the second index position till 6 minus 1, that is 5th index position. All the elements will be fetched. So if I simply write like this, then you'll get to know that it is printing your second index, third index, fourth index, and 5th index position. If you write like this, let me just write print list 1, colon, colon, -1. Then in this case, it will fetch all the elements of the list, but in the reverse order. That means Mumbai will be displayed first, then the number, that is 236512, then 30, then SME, then Unikaksha, then Prachi, then 101. So this is basically how you will get to see the elements. If I write print the element from -4 to -1, then in this case, it will start with the element -4. So again, let us just try to understand which is the element that is present at the index position -4. So the element which is present at fourth position is nothing but SME. So from here, the printing would start. Here you have written till -1, but we know that the stopping index is always +1 into whatever the index number is mentioned over here. And that's why, though you have written -1 over here, it will print the element till -2 only. And that's why the printing is going to be SME, that is nothing but -4, -3, and -2. It won't print this -1 element as per the rule of the indexing. I hope this is clear. Similarly, here the two lists are created. The first list consists of the string element. The other list is also consists of the string element. So this is basically how we can create the list as well as how we can traverse the list using Python. Now, suppose I'm writing list 2 is equal to Python is and list 3 is equal to programming language. If I write print list 2 plus list 3, then it will concatenate the elements which is present inside list 2 as well as list 3 And that's why your answer is going to be Python is programming language, which is a concatenation of the elements present inside list 2 as well as inside list 3. If you write print list 2 of 0 into 4, then it will go to the list 2. That is nothing but the word, the list consists of the words Python and is. It will search for the element that is present at 0th position, that is Python. Into 4 indicates that this Python word will be repeated for 4 times. So that is basically what we mean by the multiplication of the list. So if you are writing multiplication sign and if you are mentioning a specific index, then whatever number of time you want to print that particular value, that would be repeated one below the other. So that's basically how the multiplication as well as the concatenation works with respect to list in Python. Now, before some time, we just discussed that list is a kind of mutable data structure. That means we can mutate or we can change the elements that are present inside the list. And that's why if I'm creating this list 1 with the elements 101, Prachi, Unikaksha, SME, and so on, if I write del, which stands for the delete, that's nothing but the keyword. That's why whenever you'll write this del, that time the color of that particular word will change. List 1, 0 to 3. So what it will do, it will remove the elements starting from 0 till the second index position of your list 1. That's basically what this del does. So let me just run this. So first we are creating this list 1 and then you are using this delete list ones, the elements from the 0th to the third index position. Let us just check how the new list looks like. So in this case, as you can have written delete list 1, 0 to 3. So it will delete the element which is present at the 0th index position, that is 101, first index position, that is Prachi, and second index position, that is Unikaksha. So these elements will be deleted. The remaining elements will be printed inside your list as it is. After that, I have written the statement that delete list 1. So the entire list 1 will be deleted. After that, if you are trying to print the list 1, then it will simply generate an error saying that list 1 is not found because you have already deleted that list from your entire structure. So this is basically how list reacts to this delete kind of keyword. So I just hope till the time you have understood that how to create a list, how to traverse the element of the list, and how to delete the list, because that is something which is unique about the list because they are mutable. So you should be able to change or you should be able to simply make some kind of updation in the list element. So in today's session, we have studied about what is basically the meaning of the list. We have also studied about how to create the list, how to traverse the list, and how to delete the elements of the list as well. So in the next session, we'll try to understand what are the different operations, the rest of the operations that we can perform with the Python list. Till the time, stay tuned. Have a nice day ahead. Bye-bye.